Welcome, everyone, to this ThomasWoodenRailway discussion on the three-car pack, or three-engine pack, called Adventures of Thomas. Now, Adventures of Thomas was sold for quite a bit, for quite a long time. Not a very long time, but it definitely had some good years. I don't think they sell this anymore. But, alright, let's get started. So this pack includes a snow-covered Thomas. I think it's called Winter Wonderland Thomas. Yes, Winter Wonderland Thomas. The next one is Thomas Comes to Breakfast. And the third one, I think, is Paint Splatter Thomas. Yes, Paint Splatter Thomas. And they all have different faces that show different adventures through Thomas out. That show different faces of Thomas on his many adventures on the island of Sodor. So let's start with Winter Wonderland Thomas. I'll just call him Snow-Covered Thomas. The really cool thing about this Thomas is, honestly, I mean, it's covered in snow, but just the snow plow, I think, is really cool. I'm actually going to use this in a Season 9 episode. I'm not going to say which one because I want it to be a surprise. But I think the snow plow is pretty cool. The only drawback, of course, is you don't get the front magnet. But other than that, there's a lot of detail putting the snow on here, which I think is excellent. Just snow everywhere. I haven't used these yet at all, so they're in excellent condition, even though, you know, I've had them for over a year now, because I bought these along with Adventures of Percy and Adventures of James in July, August, September 2010, which was, this is complicated, which was after I left, but then before I left again. So, you know, where I finished out Season 8, I bought them in there, but I never got to use them in an episode. The only drawback to this Thomas, in my opinion, is just my model, but you can see this wiggles a lot. And I don't know if it's just that way. If anybody else has this model, they can tell me that, but that's kind of a drawback. But I mean, it's not huge or anything like that. I mean, but it wiggles pretty good. So I don't think it's gonna come off. I hope it doesn't come off, otherwise I'm in trouble. But that's Winter Wonderland Thomas. Put him in the siding over there. Next Thomas I'm gonna talk about is the Thomas Comes to Breakfast. Everybody knows the story of Thomas Comes to Breakfast. In fact, if I remember correctly, my first VHS, yes, we had VHSs back then, my first VHS Thomas story that I ever owned was Thomas Comes to Breakfast. And I specifically remember myself playing on the Day at the Work set and pretending that that the house, or the shed, was the station master's house. And I pretended this, and here he is. So this Thomas has eggs on his face. He's not very happy right now because he knows he is in trouble. He looks like he's got egg on the side there, along with, like, he went through a bush, and he's got, like, the window frame, I guess, and he's just nicked up along the side here. Thomas Comes to Breakfast. Honestly, if I had designed this model, I would have called him Egg-Covered Thomas, but oh well. He's Thomas Comes to Breakfast. Now, as you guys know from my previous new eBay items video, I got one of these when they sold it alone for like 20 bucks or something ridiculous like that. But I decided not to take that one out of the package because they don't sell it anymore. So I doubt you'll see this Thomas in my series, just because, I mean, unless, you know, if I do a remake of Thomas Comes to Breakfast, then you'll see it. But other than that, you probably won't see this Thomas then. So the final engine in the Adventures of Thomas is the Paint Splatter Thomas. Now, the Paint Splatter Thomas is from the movie Calling All Engines. And the scene, I think the scene just isn't deserving of an engine. I think Thomas Comes to Breakfast over there, it has so much history that it deserves a scene. And then Winter Wonderland Thomas, also, I think the episode's called Thomas and Terrence, where Thomas gets stuck in the snowdrift because he won't use a snowplow. But really, a Paint Splatter Thomas, oh well. He's very, very sad right now, unfortunately, because he has paint all over him. I think the detail, however, on putting this paint on is pretty cool. I mean, he is just covered in paint. I mean, he's even got it in his bunker and on his cab. Pretty sure his driver and fireman have them all over their clothes. You guys can see right there. See that, like, not below the green paint that drips all the way down. There's something right there. And I don't think it's a scratch. Now that I'm looking at it, it might just be something that came with it that I didn't do on purpose. But that's Paint Splatter Thomas. So you probably won't see this one either in my series, just because you know, he has to get paint spilled on him, you know. So that's the end of this discussion on the adventures of Thomas. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments below, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks for watching.